"Excuse me, sir." The voice was soft, trembling, and barely audible. The man looked up from his phone, puzzled. "Could you pretend to be my daddy? Just for one day?" He froze. The voice belonged to a little boy, no older than 7, standing alone behind the rusted iron fence of the town's orphanage. His clothes were worn, his shoes mismatched, and his big brown eyes held a desperate, fragile kind of hope that pierced straight through the man's chest. The hook. Nathan Reed, a high-powered attorney from Chicago, wasn't supposed to be in this small rural town. His car had broken down while passing through, forcing him to stay overnight. He was on his way to a crucial client meeting, one that could make or break his firm's merger. He had no time for detours, no patience for distractions. But that whisper? That whisper stopped the world for him. Chapter 1, The Stranger and the Fence. Nathan looked around, unsure if someone had put the boy up to this. But there was no one. Just a few kids playing quietly in the distance, and the boy, small, thin, with a mop of untamed hair, clutching the fence like it was the only thing holding him to earth. "Why me?" Nathan asked. The boy shrugged, eyes still hopeful. "You looked kind. Like someone who used to smile before." Nathan had no idea what to say to that. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe loneliness. Or maybe, the ache in his own chest that he hadn't acknowledged in years. He sighed and knelt. "What's your name?" "Eli." "Well, Eli, why do you want someone to pretend?" Eli's voice cracked. "Because tomorrow is family visit day, but I don't have any family. And the other kids, they always have someone. I just want to know what it feels like, for once." Chapter 2, A Day That Wasn't Meant to Happen. Nathan didn't know what came over him, but he heard himself saying, "All right, for one day." The next morning, he walked through the orphanage gates, dressed down, holding a baseball glove and 2 ice cream cones. Eli's face lit up like Christmas. They played catch in the yard. Made silly faces in a photo booth the staff had set up. Sat under the tree while Nathan read Eli's favorite book, The Little Prince. For hours, Nathan wasn't a man rushing through life. He was just someone's dad. Eli called him Dad once by accident. Then apologized so quickly it shattered something inside Nathan. Chapter 3, A Man with a Closed Heart. Nathan hadn't spoken to his own son in 3 years. His divorce had been bitter. He buried himself in work. He thought he was protecting his heart from further pain. He'd convinced himself that being distant was safer, for everyone. But now, watching this orphan child beam at every small moment, every laugh, every kind gesture, Nathan felt a grief he had buried deep. Not just for Eli, but for the time he'd lost with his own son, Tyler. Chapter 4, Cracks in the Wall. As the day ended, Eli clung to Nathan's hand tighter. His smile had started to falter. His steps slower. They sat on the same bench near the fence where they first met. "Are you going to leave now?" Eli asked. Nathan nodded. "I have to, buddy. I have a meeting." "It's okay," Eli interrupted quickly. But his voice was different now. Numb. Not disappointed, just familiar with being left behind. Nathan's mouth was dry. His chest ached. Eli reached into his pocket and pulled out a crumpled photo. It was a drawing. Him and Nathan. Holding hands. A sun smiling overhead. The words, "My daddy for one day." Nathan felt something in him break. Chapter 5, What Really Matters. He missed his meeting. He ignored every call from his office. He stayed the night in the town again. And the next. He found the orphanage director, Ms. Patterson, and asked more about Eli. The boy had been abandoned as a baby. No known relatives. Adoption attempts had fallen through. Again and again. Nathan drove to a nearby playground where they sat again. "Do you want me to be your pretend daddy again tomorrow?" Eli's face lit up, but he hid it quickly. "You don't have to lie, sir. I know it was just for one day." Nathan knelt again, just like he had at the fence. "What if I don't want to pretend anymore?" Eli blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean, would you let me be your real dad? Forever?" Tears flooded Eli's eyes. "But, you don't even know me." Nathan smiled. "I know enough. And I want to know everything else." Chapter 6, A New Beginning. It took months of paperwork, background checks, and court hearings. Nathan worked part-time from the town, visited every weekend, even introduced Eli to Tyler, his biological son, over video calls. The first meeting between Tyler and Eli was awkward. But over time, something began to bloom between them. Not rivalry. But recognition. Healing. A second chance at family, for all of them. One rainy afternoon, Tyler took Eli's hand and said, "You know, he forgot how to be a dad for a while. But I think, you reminded him." Final scene, the fence again. 1 year later. A new family photo is taken outside the orphanage. Eli stands between Nathan and Tyler, all smiling, arms wrapped around each other. Eli wears a shirt that says, "Best day ever." As they walk away, a new boy behind the fence calls out timidly, "Hey, mister. Will you be my daddy too?" Eli turns and runs over. He kneels, just like Nathan did. "Not me," Eli says, smiling gently. "But I know someone who can help." He turns to Nathan, who is already walking back with open arms. The message. Sometimes, the smallest voice carries the biggest miracle. Sometimes, we're not lost, we're just waiting to be found. And sometimes, all it takes to heal a broken soul is the courage to whisper. Could you pretend, just for one day? But the best stories begin when we stop pretending, and choose to stay.